Good evening, Lily Whites. It's Sunday. That means one thing and one thing only. It's Spurs UnCensored. This is going to be the regular time slot, I think, 10 p.m. Difficult to get guests on, but we have fun. I hope people's awake and are ready. I can't fully run tonight. I want to, but I'll wake the kids up. They're just above me. I'm so angry, really, really angry. It's another game, but we took the lead, lost it, not late on this time, but it's 2 games on the bounce and it's 3 losses on the bounce. 3 games Son hasn't scored in. The depth is getting found out. We're finally finding out how poor this depth is. We're going to get into it and some. But I tell you what, first of all, I know Dan's with me here. This is a legend, and the people in the chat. This guy is a legend, proper legend.
Top man.
I didn't realise he was 80 years old. So look, he's had a good innings either way. It's always before a game. Before a Spurs game, it happens. It was Jimmy Greaves as well. It was the morning of a game. But unfortunately, he passed away. Ex-Spurs manager, ex-England manager. I just want to put this out there. My first ever memories of football was Euro 96. So Gaza was my man. That's why I followed into Serie A. Venables, brilliant manager. Any memories, Dan? Any memories of Venables? Any that stood out?
Oh, well, what was it? He got the FA Cup, didn't he? If I remember right.
Of course.
And at Barcelona, when he was up there, definitely had a good one and everything. The way he handled that Euro 96 and handling Gascoigne the way he did and everything, he was a great manager. He was. And I reckon he would have been brilliant for these days because he did love a bit of technical attacking football, didn't he?
He's probably a modern manager now. He's probably the modern manager. He would have been perfect in this at this time. But I did see an interview with him about 2 years ago, and I think he runs hotels in Spain or something. He had a big hotel business in Spain, so he just left football altogether, which is odd, but fair play to him. Fair play. Very sad news. Dietrich, I've just seen you in the comments, brother.
Check your link.
Dan sent you a link. So if you want to jump on. We might have a few guests coming in and out on today's show. Jacob, this is what happens when you have Dyer and Emerson to choose from at centre-back. We went with 2 fullbacks today. That's our depth. 2 fullbacks. They're not even good fullbacks. 2 fullbacks playing centre-backs in the Premier League against one of the best attacks in the league, against one of the teams that are smashing it, have been for the past 12 months, playing 2 fullbacks.
And when you go and stick Royale on over who's meant to be your third choice centre back, that just about says it all, doesn't it? When you're putting your 2 fullbacks in there instead of your centre back, it says it all. It says everything. Just
fullbacks in general. If you just use any team that has to use their fullbacks, even if it was just Romero fit, right? We still would have had to put 1 fullback in. It's crazy, and the fact that they're both terrible fullbacks does not help because they are shocking. They're shocking back there. Daryl, big up my friend. If Madison and Son don't score, we become Accrington Stanley. Stanley. Who are they? I love Soccer AM. What happened to Soccer AM, man? It was wicked back in the early 2000s. It's dead now, isn't it? It's dead. All huff and no puff. Let's hope you're doing well. Dietrich is here. Perfect timing. Hi, Dan and Tommy. Do we go with the same lineup against City to try and keep some momentum going? We'll get into it. We're going to talk City. We're going to talk the upcoming games. These are the upcoming games. The Christmas fixtures. Man City, West Ham, Newcastle. That was well advertised because I've been looking at that and quite a few of the streams asking people how many points you reckon we're going to get out of the next 4, starting with 0. But then we've got Forest, Everton, Brighton. Not going to be easy, and Bournemouth. So we've got 7 games. After Newcastle, it does get pretty easy. There are no easy games in the Premier League, as we know, but it calms down. Calms down a little bit.
We're already that run down, Tom. Let's look at it realistically. We've coming up against City. Anyone being realistic would say, even though we got a good record on them, that's going to be our 4th defeat on the trot. And things are going to start looking down. And then the ones that should technically be the easier games, when you've got a bunch of players that got their head on the floor, it's going to be tenfold harder, isn't it?
Did you see Roy Keane? Did you see the Roy Keane I don't really watch it after we lose, to be honest with you. I'm so pissed off, but I kept the TV on. And it was like, first thing he said was Spursy. The defending at the end was Spursy. And it's Spursy to lose to all the shit teams, to be quite honest with you. We're struggling with the big teams and all teams right now. With this depth, you ain't got a chance. D-Trix, how are you doing, my friend?
How's everyone doing?
We're missing this man. How badly are we missing Harry Kane?
Bro, do you remember even then I told him in the past, if he leaves, you're going to see the downfall of this team. And everyone said we're going to be all right. It's a good thing that he left. Well, now you're seeing like our true colors. We're dependent on a striker, and we need like a all-around striker that can drop deep, win headers, score goals with both feet. We don't have any finishers on this team. I love Son. I think he's a fantastic player, but we have nothing.
We do have something. We just don't have the same standards that we had. And today, I won't deny it. If we'd have had Kane in that box, we'd have probably won that 4-2.
Well, there you go. There you go. You saw the header. Like, for me, the one that killed me was Son. When I don't know if it's Gil that did a cross and Son like didn't like hit it with his head.
Even connect with a header. Yeah,
or even connect.
No, he didn't even connect it, did he?
A striker should connect easily. I'm not going against Son. I think he's a phenomenal player, but he's not a striker in my eyes.
The timing. Do you know what it is? It's those millimeters. The timing of his runs keeps getting offside. He's going a second too early. That's the difference in the Premier League. He's going to the ball too early as well. He went to the ball too early for his header. That's why he missed it. He ran too far. Brennan Johnson's driven cross on the ball. It was basically open goal. The keeper was there, but I mean, he was in the centre of the goal. He ran too quickly, so the ball went behind him. Those chances, Kane would have put away. We know Kane would have put it away.
Because the thing with the striker, it's not about like your ability. It's about timing. Can you time your runs properly? And Kane was phenomenal at timing his runs even to the millisecond.
That's the difference. Do you know what Sterling's biggest strength is as well?
Yeah.
He doesn't rely on his pace anymore. He still can.
Yeah.
His timing of his run, Sterling.
Yeah.
What he does off the ball is overlooked. It's very, very underrated. You watch Sterling off the ball, he never gets offside. Never, ever gets offside. He's fantastic at timing his runs.
Do you remember Kane when he had Eriksen, he would know like, yes, I have to run quickly because I know he's going to pass it to me. But with other players, he would slow down, then make the run. Son is like, he always makes the same run. Like, you should know the players. Like, some players are not fast on the ball. Others don't think the same way. Like, it all depends. Like, that is chemistry that you build on the training pitch. You should know, like, a player's strength. Like, Bentancur, even the commentator said, Bentancur had 5 seconds early to make the pass.
Bentancur, we'll get onto that later.
It's small details that would make a striker like world class.
I've got a question then. With the thing with Son then, yeah? I mean, personally, I think he's more of a striker now, yeah? He's not a winger anymore. But he has lost that little half a yard of pace, hasn't he? Yeah, where H catches up with you. Do you think it's where he's actually lost that bit of pace? He's actually put in that effort to make the run too early, whereas before he could hold back, keep himself onside, and he knew he had the pace to catch up with it as such. Whereas where he's lost that little pace, do you think he's almost like too eager on getting to it because he knows he's not as sharp and quick as he was?
I don't think it's pace with him. I think he just like got used. I think he got used to having Kane behind him, and he always used to make those quick runs. I don't think it's pace anymore. I just think like it's awareness that he doesn't have, because he got used to always making the same run, like quick, and not time it. Unfortunately, we just don't have a creative player like Maddison anymore, like at the moment in time. I don't think it's pace.
I agree with Dan. 100% agree with Dan in terms of Son is probably finished as a left winger. His best position now is a striker. The issue I had was that is his best position, but what happens when he stops scoring goals? Because we saw
exactly.
Son is a confidence man. If he starts scoring, he can score 10 games on the bounce. If he stops scoring, he can stop scoring 10 games on the bounce. Now it's free, and now we're worried, and we should be worried because he goes through these spells. He goes through these spells.
For me, I see more Son of a second striker. I don't think he should be the main striker of a team. I think he should be next to Madison, like being that second, like that Lautaro Martinez when you had Lukaku. I think it's that position that he needs.
Well, we're going to get onto the failure of the transfer window. And I said, even when we were winning games, even when we were 10 games top of the table, 10 games unbeaten, the transfer window was a failure as far as I'm concerned. This 9 out of 10 transfer window, not for me. But we'll get onto it. First up, let's look at the lineup because some crazy decisions from Postecoglou going into the game. I couldn't quite believe my eyes when I saw some of the players that got put out there. I didn't put the formation on. I've been up against it today, but you can see the starting lineup for yourselves. I'm sure everybody's gone through it in their heads plenty of times. It's debatable what positions all the players played, quite frankly. I mean, we know who the back four was. 2 fullbacks playing centre-back, Emerson and Davis. Porro right back, Udogie left back. He wasn't injured. He was actually fit for this one, thank God. Kulusevski... where was Kulusevski playing? Cam, you could say, on the right a lot of the time still.
The first half, I'd say he was definitely more Cam.
Lo Celso was definitely centre mid, you'd say, wouldn't we? I'd say Lo Celso was centre mid, but he was dropping into Cam position sometimes. Bentancur was dropping into the Cam position plenty of times, putting Kulu back out on the right when he was fit.
Udogie was up in the middle.
Yeah, inverted. He takes inverted to the next level, doesn't he, Udogie? He's like on the box and stuff. Like it's fucking
brilliant player.
Even what's his name, Porro, like the way he makes those passes, he looks like he's a number 10. Like it's insane. The passes that he makes, that's insane for a fullback.
And when he nearly scored at the end, that was a number 10 role. That was a number 10 position.
Yeah, that is a number 10. It's like we have 6 number 10s on the field.
Yeah, there was exactly that. Six number 10, 7 number 10. Everyone was dropping in there. Everyone.
Yeah. Honestly, when I saw the lineup, first of all, because like I'm in the Eastern time, so it was at 9 a.m. the game. When I saw the lineup, I thought it was a joke at first.
I couldn't believe my eyes.
Like I thought it was a lie. Because when I saw four fullbacks at centre back, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, that one I could easily believe, mate. With the options he's got, it was obvious what it was going to be. But do you know what? If I go with it, I was quite happy with what he put on there because I've been saying I want the man to take a chance.
No, I was happy.
And bar the finishing today, I think that first half we should have easily been 3-1 up. It did work, but when you haven't got the depth to keep on charging at them like we were, it obviously shows, and it did in the end. But that first half, that was all ours for the taking, and we should have already had them done and dusted in the first half.
We had 7 chances. We had like 6 or 7 chances, and then it goes back to Son. It goes back to Son, you know.
In the first half, they was playing him more in the middle. Yeah, he kept swinging off to the right, but he had a bit more of a, go on, mate, go out there and do what you got to do sort of thing. And you saw him in the middle a lot, playing as a cam. Like I've said, give the man a chance because he'd done it at Juventus. And quite a few times I saw a nice straight direct ball come through from him. Having shots, yes, 2 of them he should have put in the back of the net without a doubt. I think Kulusevski today was our best player. I mean, in the second half, they definitely put him more wide, didn't they?
I think everything came from him. Pretty much everything came from him. Gill a few times in the opening 30 minutes, but the attack started with Kulu taking the ball away. He's faster than people give him credit for. He is definitely faster, and his passing was good. Back flicks. We saw the back flick for Porro to Johnson, didn't we, against Wolves? Brilliant. It was only goal in that game as well. Without Madison, Kulu is the one that's consistently creating. He's the only one consistently creating. So he gets a lot of shit, Kulu.
No, it's true, but like for me, like as a footballer, when I see someone that cannot finish, everything you do, what was the point? You had like 2 easy chances to score and you couldn't finish. Like, come on.
One he had to score, didn't he? The
one Bro, Tommy, all of us played football here. We can easily finish those chances, even on our weak foot. Like, come on, like he's a footballer.
That first one where it come off the inside of the post, and that was just unlucky. I think that one. Personally, I think he should have just drilled it straight in there. But the other one, he should have definitely put in the back of the net.
We're talking about like a guy that's getting paid like what, like $100,000 a week, and you can't even finish your dinner. Like, come on, like what is the point?
But I do think he's doing extremely well to get in those positions. I think he's ducking, he's getting the ball into the centre where Richarlison is an absolute joke. he's not really doing much to get into the position. He's not getting past players, and he can't finish. So at least Kulu's offering something. We saw his flick to Gill. His flick to Gill was fantastic as well. Gill was unlucky. Kulu was everywhere. Kulu was
Gill was quite good today. Gill was all right. It's just there was a couple of chances which I think would have give him a less rating on the game, where he should have actually just had the shot instead of looking to pass it to, like me and D-Trex was saying about someone earlier.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of chances where he should have just said, you know what, stuff it, bang it. But he didn't. He looked for the pass.
Yeah, even do you remember one chance with Gill when you just shoot it? Why can you not use your weak foot? If you're on the left, cut in on your right, shoot with your right. Common logic. Why would you shoot?
You're a professional footballer. You should. You train 4 hours a day. Okay, it's not your prominent foot, but you should have a decent shot on your not preferred foot. I agree, 100%.
Tommy, but that's my problem with this team. Nobody is confident. I don't know what does the manager tell them. If you're a footballer, you should be able to shoot with both feet. I don't care who you are. Even Emerson would be able to shoot with his weak foot. Anyone is possible, man.
Right. Mr. Box Office is here. Alex, my friend. First of all, Alex, were you at the game?
Yep.
You was at the game?
Live and direct from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yep, absolutely.
Can you believe that we went 3-0 up in the first 20 minutes? Because I'm struggling.
We should have been.
Well, listen. I think, like I said on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV again, is every single time, if you don't know, get to know. I said it's just back to reality. Back to reality. I said those first 10 games, I didn't learn that much. And I was just seeing the same old like I've seen before. And like I said, it was a build. And we're all getting over excited that we're going to get Champions League, which again makes no sense because look what happened last time we got Champions League. We got dumped out of it, like embarrassing against a bang average AC Milan team. So, I mean, I think I'm learning about my team. Like I said, the last 3 games. Okay, I clapped them after Chelsea. Wolves, we know what happened, and I'm starting to see the light about some of these players. I don't think he could have done any more than what he done, though. To be honest with you, Postecoglou. And I don't think he could have done any more because I think Aston Villa didn't play well. To be honest with you. I think they're more clinical than us. Yes, we should have scored chances, yes, but I think it's showing a lot of players. I mean, I think when Bentancur came off, yeah, I think he was doing good. I think people are going over the top about Lo Celso. I like Kulusevski in the middle. I've got to be honest.
Alex, it's always better to be at the game. What did Lo Celso do other than score?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't get the whole thing about Lo Celso. I think he wants to leave. That's for me.
No,
I think he wants to leave. He's playing like he wants to leave. That's it, really, for me. Well. The one person that I'm having a go at the moment, because he's captain of the ship and he's not acting like a captain at the moment. I don't like it at the moment. Is Son. I'm sorry. I'm not. One, he's not a striker. He's struggling because I don't think we're playing to his game. But him being a captain is. I'm not liking it at the moment. I'm not liking what I'm hearing. I'm not liking it at all. It's like, oh, we need to be nice to each other. I'm sorry, winners are not nice to each other as a captain. Sometimes you've got to tell it how it is.
Nice guys finish last.
No, I'm agreeing with that. For the first 10 games, everyone's been saying, yep, he's made the right decision and everything with Son as captain. And Son has done all right as captain. But again, for me, he still would not be my first choice as captain. He's done all right. But where's that aggression on the pitch that you need off the captain of, come on, lads, get your act together.
This is what my problem is. My problem is at the moment, sorry to interrupt you, Dan, Vicario looks more a captain than Son.
Yes, he does. Do you know what? You say that, yeah? I had this discussion with my mate yesterday on the phone. Out of everyone we've got on that pitch, Vicario is the most captain material on there, I think. But do we want a goalkeeper as captain again? No. For me, an ideal captain, maybe call it old school, is like a Roy Keane, a Patrick Vieira, Porello, centre mid. That is my ideal captain. But Vicario at the moment, he's the most He's the one you see shouting it, the most vocabulary one, the most vocal one, whatever way you want to put it. I'm 100% with you on that. I was talking to my mate about that last night. My mate Mike, who comes on there and says hello. And I do think he is the most captain material on the pitch. But do we want another goalkeeper as the captain? That's
yeah.
I don't like
goalkeepers.
I don't like goalkeepers and I don't like strikers. I think centre mids, centre backs should be the captains because this is what the referees come up. The only job the captain's got these days are telling your players to calm down after they get a yellow card. So the referee says, right, calm him down a little bit. If one more challenge, he's going to get sent off. So calm him down a little bit. And then the player does it. I don't think Son's got that in him. You're in the centre of the pitch, centre mid, centre back. So that's why I didn't like Lloris as a captain and Vicario. He's just got there. So you're going to, it's embarrassing.
No, I'm not saying he should be captain.
It's embarrassing that we've got Maddison as our vice captain and he's just fucking arrived. And we've got Vicario. Well, Vicario's our most leadership material. We've all agreed on the pitch. It's embarrassing.
I'm just calling it how I see it, and I just think for me, the Wolves game proved it to me. Like, okay, it was coming, the goals, yeah, but where was Son when the first goal went in? Why is he not saying, what you doing? What you doing? You know what I mean? And, like I said, you got Roy Keane, Henderson, John Terry. These are winners. You know what I mean? Winners that
but Alex, 1 minute though. Forget about the captaincy. What did you make of his finishing today? He hasn't scored in 3 games.
He's not been good. He's not been good. He's not been good as well clinically. He's not been good, and that was what we were giving Son recently. You see what I'm saying? But I think it shows a little bit that maybe this forward role without Maddison, and I think that's the key. That's the key thing here at the moment, and I think we are turning into Madison FC. Let's be honest here. Like, since Madison's come out the team, it's not been the same, hasn't it? Let's be honest.
No, with Son, I'd relate him as a striker. Obviously different, but I'd call him the same sort of striker as Jamie Vardy sort of style, yeah? They always needed that person to put the direct ball through to them, for them to run onto it and then to score. Son was never going to be capable of what Kane does, and that was be a 10 and a 9 all in one, set up his own goals and everything else. Son is reliant on that playmaker to put the through ball for him, same as Vardy used to be, and a few other strikers used to be like it. It's just we are very used to having a striker who can make his own game sort of thing, but we haven't got that now. Because we need the playmakers. But today we made chances. We had chances. Son had chances. Kulusevski, I think he was our best player today. And like I've been screaming at everyone, he can do it as a cam. I think he played one of his best games today. And he proved today.
He had a better game. He had a better game.
He should have finished. He should have finished on. Yeah, but he could have got a better
game today. I've been criticising him because he's been acting like more of a fullback than an actual winger. But he did have a better game today. It just feels like he had more. He had more freedom, a little bit more.
That is what I've been saying. And people telling me he's right through and through. And I've always said the problem with him on the right is that where he's so left-footed and he's got lack of space by the time he gets there, he can only step to his left and he's got limited options. Play him as a cam and you can be left-footed, right-footed. Yeah, prefer to be double-footed, but not many are. And he's got a lot more space on there, a lot more open to put a through ball to. And he's done exactly today what I've been saying he can do.
At the end of the day, his 2 best chances today were still off the right coming inside. That's the reality of the situation. They were his 2 best chances. The one that he hit the post with was on the right coming inside, and the one where
he set up a lot of chances today. He's done some good through balls in there.
Yeah, he's capable. He's definitely capable. I think the problem when Maddison's not there, someone's got to fill in, hasn't he? And he's filling in right now. And it's Maddison. No Maddison. It's a problem. Dietrich, what's the biggest issue for you right now? Is it out of all the injuries? Would you say it's Maddison, centre back, one of the centre backs?
I think the main issue is centre back at the moment, honestly, because creativity for me, we are creating chances with Poro, but the way we concede goals, it's unacceptable. It's schoolboy stuff. Look at Emerson. Just his name, Royal, tells you everything. The way he defends, he's a clown.
And he's better than Dyer.
Yeah, and that's the worst part.
They're the two worst
that
players
just
in the
says
team.
it
I've
all,
said it
doesn't
for
it?
a long time. They're the two worst players in this football club. They're both the fucking.
I don't think. I think the difference is. I think I give Postecoglou credit because I think he did the best situation out of what he could do at the end of the day. With I
I
think
think he did.
Emerson and Davis were the right combination. I've got to be honest, because let's be honest here. Emerson, when he was going forward, he had a nosebleed. Whenever he was going forward, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. Bless him. And this is what we're going to get with him. You know what I mean?
It's
Well,
true.
there was one time he was going forward and he just looked like his head was just going around in circles. He didn't know what to do with the ball. Didn't know what to do at all. You know what I mean? But I think I'd rather have him at the back than Dyer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
I think we just confirmed right now. For me, I think he was forced to do it, and I don't know why he did it against Wolves. But like I think today he just proved it that we need to somehow get rid of him, or he can't be in the team. He just doesn't fit what we need. You know what I mean at the moment. You know what I mean. And I am annoyed that we got rid of Sanchez without a replacement, and with this whole data-led thing that we're doing at the moment, I'm hoping that we are going to start looking for defenders, whether they're competent in this system or not, because we need somebody that is competent in the system. That's the thing, who can play from the back, who's comfortable, because at least we can do that. I don't care if they're not that great, but as long as they can do something and system, that's the main thing, isn't it? But yeah, I can't have a go. I can't have a go. Yeah, they made mistakes. They did make mistakes, though. They did make mistakes, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm calm. There's no rants today. There's no unleashing today, because I was telling people this throughout the 10 games, and I was
You're the
told
same
that I
as
need
me,
to enjoy
Alex.
it.
We're supposed to be toxic when we're unbeaten, but it's round the corner. This is
Well,
happening.
I said that the run was coming. I said the run was coming because I looked at those games. Aston Villa. Now we've got Man City. We've got West Ham, who are going to be trouble, and Newcastle. I mean, those games are trouble. You know what I mean? So
It's all
yeah,
come down to the depth. That is what the problem is.
Look at the
And
table now. Look at the table now. We're only 6 points in front of Man City. We're 2 points in front of Man United, who have had one of the worst starts ever. 2 points. Things change. Things flip just like that.
It's the depth. It's the depth of the whole team as a whole. Now, I get a lot of people were positive on it, and I'd still say you look at it now, it's still better than what we expected from the start. But that's not giving that things are going right at the moment. But after the first 10 games, yeah, a lot of people did get too hyped up when I was saying, Alex said it, you said it, Dietrich said it, Stel said it before. Yeah, let's just see what happens when we get these injuries. And lo and behold, here it is. I mean, yeah, it was a bit harsh the way we got anything and everything, injuries, suspensions, and all that in one game. But it truly shows how much of a lack of depth we've got.
Speaking of injuries, Dan, what did you make of Matty Cash's challenge on Bentancur?
Yellow card. It weren't a red card. I mean, I think he can. If he would have connected with him cleanly with his foot, like studs, that would have been straight off. But it was a late challenge, but it weren't dirty, if you know what I mean. It was just late as such, and it weren't as bad as like some of the others you've seen where the studs have hit them, and that. If that would have been more, it'd have hit him with the foot and that, I think it'd have been off. But it was a yellow card, just.
Dietrich's, yellow or red for you, and what's going to happen with Benny from this point? Benny's out. He come back for 10 months. He's been out. First start in 10 months. He's had sporadic games.
I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear the question. So sorry, guys. What did you say?
What do you think? I said, was it a yellow or red? The Matty Cash challenge on Bentancur. What is Bentancur's future looking like from here? Because I'm getting Wanyama vibes here.
I think it's just a yellow. For me, it's only a yellow, but there's nothing wrong. But can I give you 2 seconds? Just like there's too much noise. Give me 2 seconds.
Alex. You was at the game. What was the reaction at the game when that challenge came in?
When I was around the fans, they thought it was a sending off. They thought it was. I knew what Emery was going to do, because I think Cash was really in danger of getting another second yellow card and getting sent off. So when he got subbed off in the second half, I wasn't surprised. To be honest, I didn't think too much of it. I think the problem with Bentancur at the moment, he's come from a really bad injury, and you know he had the international week where he was playing quite a bit. To be honest with you, and I think it's just caught up with him. Let's just be honest, you know what I
He
mean?
played
And I
80
think,
minutes in one of the game, didn't he?
yeah, and I just think, I mean, I think the problem is that I mean, I heard a Spurs fan saying he's a game changer. I just thought, you're having a laugh, you know what I mean? And I just thought the guy's just turned up from injury, you know what I mean? You know, and we're talking about he's the game changer. I mean, honestly, that just puts pressure on somebody straight away, doesn't it? You know,
But he's
so
got the capability of being that player, and he was doing well until he
well,
got the injury.
I did to differ with that. I think I think yeah, he looked good. He looked good in the Conte system. Yes, he did. But I think now we're doing the and system now. I think he needs time to really get back to fitness, and this is going to take a lot out of him, isn't it? And he did look quite promising in the first half because we did dominate certain parts of the game, and we did have some good chances, and I think that was because of his play as well. So
hmm
I
I thought he
think
looked very good. I thought he looked very good in the first half. As I say, he was
yeah,
dropping into that cam row. Everyone was dropping into cam row. As Dietrich said, six players were dropping in and out.
yeah.
I do think he's a very good. I do think he's a very good player, but I've got bad vibes now. He's going to duck out of challenges now because that's
Well,
two challenges where it's
I
gone
think
off
at the
into.
moment I think they had a bit of worry about him. He was eager to play, wasn't he?
It was
Postecoglou said, but
cheeky what Bielsa done. It was cheeky what Bielsa done. Uruguay manager playing for 80 minutes. It's too much for a player coming back from injury. But they've got to qualify for the World Cup. They've got their own expectations, their own ambitions. So Uruguay not a big country. They can't be too fussy with how they play. Same with us. We're dilapidated at centre mid. That's why he's in there. No Basuma, no Sarr.
This is why I've been worried about starting with Bentancur. I can totally understand why we did, but I've been more the one who would have started with Højbjerg and then maybe brought Bentancur on with 30 minutes to go because I didn't want to see this situation because he's still going to, he might be fit, but he's 100% not match fit. Match fit and fit are two total different games, the way I see it. Whereas a lot of people seem to think, well, if you're fit on the training, you're fit to get on the pitch. I don't believe that. And it's going to take him time, but he's still tender. He's only just coming out of like a 9-month injury, 10-month injury, something like that. And I think it was lucky today that he got kicked on his right leg instead of his left leg. But then that also shows he's a bit tender at the moment, doesn't it? And let's just hope it's just a bruise that he got.
Do you know what I would have done? Looking at the lineup sheet, I wouldn't have started Lascelles. I know he scored the fucking goal, but he done nothing for the rest of the game as far as I'm concerned. 100%. Like I said, I would have gone with Højbjerg and Bentancur. No, forgetting what I'm talking about now. Højbjerg and who's our other centre mids?
it would have been Kulu, Bentancur, and Højbjerg because Kulu was playing as a
So maybe what I would have done is drop Gil completely. I know he played well, but then I would have played Bentancur as a cam. I would have just
Gil played well.
As a cam.
Gil played well.
As the cam, and just let me be used as a luxury player. Bentancur, don't get him involved in challenges.
Gil played well.
The minute
I thought Gil had an all right game.
Gil was okay, but I don't think it was. I'm sorry, he needs to.
But the minute you put Bentancur in centre midfield and he's been out for 10 months, it's a problem. In the Premier League, it's a problem. And we found out in the first 30 minutes, even though he played well, he got that injury. It could be another month.
Sorry guys, I'm back. I'm back. I just finished booking some.
Just to put my point across, I'm going to get back to Alex and the Gil situation because I do want to talk about Gil. I don't think it's red card either. A lot of Spurs fans think it's a red card. The challenge from Matty Cash on Bentancur, but I tell you what, his studs weren't showing. When you look at his studs weren't showing. He had his studs down. That's what saved him. It was a naughty challenge. He was nowhere near the ball.
It was a late kick.
Do you guys realize this is the second time he injured one of our best players during the game? Last year was Doherty. He was the one that injured Doherty. It was him. So I hope the next game we injure him. I wish him nothing but one nasty injury because I'm tired. He injured Doherty when he had... Not on him, yes. But this is the second player ball.
So it's just a yellow card for you.
Yeah, of course, it's just a yellow card. There's nothing wrong, but it was a nasty tackle. But it wasn't red. But the one on who was it that kicked Kulusevski on the edge of the box, and they went to VAR to check if it was a penalty? Who was it again?
Was that Digne? I don't know if it was.
Either Dean or McGinn, one of those two.
Yeah.
If Romero was a red card against Chelsea, that is a red card.
I thought
follow-through?
McGinn, as soon as Bentancur went off, was best player on the pitch. I thought he was absolutely outstanding with the ball at his feet, off the ball. McGinn, like I haven't seen him too much this season, but that boy, he's a baller. He's an absolute baller.
He was good. He was good.
But the follow through, that was a red card. If Romero was a red card, that is a red card.
I didn't see it. I didn't see a great deal.
I haven't seen replays on it.
Yeah, good. If you guys go back and watch, do you know they VAR'd like to check if Kulusevski was a penalty? If you check at the follow through like frame by frame, it's the same thing as Romero.
Do you know
Studs
what?
on the ankle, that is a red card.
I'm not one of these VAR moaners. Oh, the VAR gone against us. The injuries have gone against us. All that bullshit, like some Spurs fans. But I tell you what, I think that Pau Torres goal was offside. I was 100% onside, 100%. But you watch his hand comes out, and I guarantee if you go back, that is good. That's offside. I guarantee it because he was the man where his arm just come out, but they overlooked it because it looked so obviously like it was onside. That's what they do. It's insane. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Everyone's against Spurs, this, that, and the other. But McGinn was outstanding, not just off the ball. Really good with the ball at his feet. Right, okay. 9 out of 10 transfer window. Many people said this was a 9 out of 10 transfer window in the summer. They said it was 9 out of 10 transfer windows summer before. We signed Richarlison for 50, 60 million pounds. First of all, what did you make of Gil's performance, Alex? Because I know you're not the biggest fan. And then transfer window, rate it. Was it a 9?
I think Gil was just okay. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to do more. Sorry, he needs to. I mean, what I saw from Kulusevski was bumping people off the ball. He just hasn't got the physicality. He just get fluffed on the ball too easily. You know what I mean? And if you've told him this after how many years now? 3 years now, and it's still the message not got across to him already. Sorry, you know what I mean? I'm kind of going to be ruthless now, because if we're going to start feeling sorry for these players, we might as well get Harry Winks back and Dele Alli back. You know what I mean? Because that's what we're doing.
Doing right in the Championship, but
you know what I mean? That's what we're doing. That's what we were doing last time. We were feeling sorry for players and saying that we need to be ruthless. Well, we need to be ruthless with some of these players, because he's all right in the Spanish league because he can play in that sort of league. But I mean, it's the same with the Celso. You know, now everybody's like saying, well, you were wrong about the Celso. You're wrong about the Celso. Okay, let's see if he turns up against Man City and West Ham then.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Let's see if he turns up at any more games than that. Because he had an all right game today, same as I think Gil had an all right game today. But nothing outstanding. Yeah, all right. Anyone could have smacked that shot from there because he just drilled it. But he scored the goal. But apart from that, what has he actually done for Spurs in the past 2-3 years?
I'm hearing Tottenham fans saying
nothing.
He's absolutely fantastic. Oh, he's brilliant.
No,
oh,
he's
he's
not.
this, he's that, he's this. Oh, he's back. And I'm like,
he was never here, let alone back.
When we signed him, he had half a good season at Eibar on loan from Sevilla, and we paid £35 million for him. And people say, oh, it was only £25 million. No, it was £25 million plus Lamela. Lamela was a £10 million player at that point. £35 million on Brian Gill. You tell me that's a £35 million player. In the first half, he played to his strengths, which is you can't go one-on-one with defenders because he's going to get bullied. He gets bullied as soon as he goes one-on-one. So he played the ball early, passed it, went in behind, got a cross in. And to be fair, put one great cross into Son. And if it was a out-and-out striker, I think they would have scored. We know Son's not great in the air either. Timed his run too early. That was a really good ball from Gill. But second half, we had to push a little bit further because it was 1-1. We were under pressure. And whenever he went one-on-one, he pretty much lost the ball on all occasions. And you can't be like that in the Premier League. You cannot just say something player like that.
Can I just say something, yeah? When people defend these players, yeah, like Kulu on the right, yeah, when I say to them, well, okay, is he better than Neto? No. Is he better than Saka? No. Those are proper wingers. Yeah, Matoma, proper wingers, going past their man, doing what they need to be doing, and that's it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna lay off Kulusevski for now, but we need to see more. Yeah, because since the reject came from Juventus, he only had 5 minutes, and then since then I've not seen him. You know what I mean? Yeah, and this is the thing; it needs to evolve.
I disagree today, Alex. I thought Kulu, his finishing weren't great, but I thought he was the best player for
No,
us.
no, no, no. I'm just saying. I'm laying off Kulu. I'm laying off Kulu today. Yeah, but it's like players like Gil, Lo Celso, and Gil, for instance. When I see a winger, I need to see like someone like a Neto. You know what I mean? Like going past their man, and that's what I don't see some of our wingers do. They don't go past their man and get a
But,
cross in, and that's it. You know,
but
that's what I class a winger, and that's it.
yeah, I agree,
Batoma.
Alex. I agree with you. But for me, it's not the player we should focus on. For me, it's Brennan Johnson. Because
Oh
for the
yeah,
price
I hear what
tag,
you're saying. I hear
for
what
the
you're saying
price
there.
tag, and for a guy that played in the league, like he has experience. It's not like he came from abroad. He
Mhm.
is not good enough. I'm gonna say it. I know, guys, you're gonna say like it's too early, but I'm not seeing one trait that he has that can take us to the next level. And the price tag doesn't justify. Pedro Neto, for that price, he will offer more than this. That's just
I
my
can hear your
personal
point
opinion.
there. I hear
I
your
can see
point there
where you're
because someone
coming
made that
from,
point as
Yeah.
well.
but for me, Johnson, we're going to have to give him a season basically before we can judge him properly. But I do get where you're coming from. With Gil today, I think Gil had an all right game. I mean, what Michael said in there, he's saying give the fellow a break. Like it's the first time he's played it in a long time. Yeah, I get that. The main thing that he missed today was exactly like what Alex said, and the rest of us. He didn't take his man on, and there was other chances where instead of looking for the pass, he should have just had the shot. But in general, I would have rated him a 6 today. I think he had an okay game.
Can I
It
come
could have
back
been a
on
lot
that
worse.
comment? Can I come back on that comment about Michael? Yeah, if you're a big club, if we're going to define us as a big club, which we're not a big club, you only get one chance. You only get one chance to make yourself known. Yeah, after one chance, you're out the door if you don't impress.
Not at
You know what I
Spurs.
mean?
Not at Spurs.
Well, this is the point. This is the problem. This is the problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like we need chances. Well, sometimes you've got a window. Yeah, this is your window. Yeah, and
Well,
if you don't take it, that's the
he's had a
thing.
long window. He's had long. The managers
Exactly.
haven't tagged
So
him.
Yes, he
I don't
has.
agree with that comment saying, "Oh, give him a chance." Oh, he's only had. Sorry, no. You when you get an opportunity, you got to take your chance. You know, you got to make yourself known because
He probably means more in terms of this season, but then you got to look
Yeah.
at his career as a whole. In 2.5 years, he just hasn't anywhere near brought it.
No,
So
he hasn't. But today, I thought he had, let's just say, a respectable game.
I thought he done well.
I
I
ain't
thought
saying
he
he,
done well in the first half.
I thought
But
first half, he looked annoying out there for him. He was on the ball. He had a couple of good passes. One thing he definitely did know is that he can't take his man on, so he was passing it before the person come to him. Fair enough. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. But I do agree also with what Alex says in the aspect of when you got a winger, you want your winger to be able to take his man on. And Gil ain't capable of that. But at this moment in time, what other options do we have of doing
no,
that?
I agree with you. That's the thing. He's got nothing. But this is why he needs to take his opportunity. Just to answer your other question, Tommy. Sorry, because I forgot to answer your other question about the
don't worry,
transfer
we've gone
window.
out. We've gone all out on Gil, so it's fine.
The transfer window. As you well know, I don't play FIFA. I don't rate transfer windows. So that's the first thing. And two, to answer your question, I never rated it any more than a 5. Because if you really want me to give you a rating, but don't hold me to that because, like I said, I don't rate transfer windows, and that's it for me. You know what I
I
mean?
don't.
So
I'm with you, Alex. I don't rate him, but everyone's saying it was 9 out of 10. It was. How can you give a rating to a transfer window? But everyone was saying it as the unbeaten record progressed. It was originally a 7, 7.5, 8, 9. Stick with what you said in the summer, right, and go with it. Because now all of a sudden it's a 9, and now we're going down to a 6 because it's not the first team players you get; it's the depth, and our depth consists of fullbacks playing centre back. Fullbacks playing centre back. What the fuck is it? We
That's
paid
the
the highest
point
season
on this
ticket
window.
We paid the highest season ticket prices to see 2 shit fullbacks play centre back. They're 2 shit fullbacks as well. Like it's madness.
They are. I mean, Tom, I think you can look on this one. Yeah, there's two ways you can look at this transfer window. Yeah, if we look at what we got, we had a good window. But if you look at the amount we got for where we needed places, no, it was not a good transfer window overall. But what we did actually get, they were good buys. But we didn't get enough of what we needed. So you can look on the transfer window in two ways. I mean, Maddison, good. Van der Ven, good. Vicario, I won't say short of excellent. What we did buy was a very good window, but it's what we didn't get that makes the window poor. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
The first team players, they've come in, they've done extremely well, but many people are telling me we're going to sign 3 centre-backs in the summer. I said 2. Just get us 2 centre-backs. We need 2 centre-backs at least. Van der Ven was a good start. To not get that second centre-back in and to sell Kane for £100 million, striker for £100 million, we already mentioned, and to get Brennan Johnson in, who's had 1 season in the Premier League as a right winger, is crazy. Is absolute craziness.
yeah.
We had
But-
the money to get a second centre-back in outside of Ashley Phillips, who played 7 games in the Championship. We had
But even-
money to get a striker in other than Veliz, who come from Argentina as a 19-year-old. It's fucking insane. How can you not sign a striker and a centre-back for £100 million?
I just think we wasted so much money on players like Veliz and Brennan Johnson. With the Brennan Johnson, you could have easily bought a centre back. And with the Veliz money, and you add like maybe 10, 20 million.
You're good with transfers, Dietrich. What was it? 50, was it 50 million for Brennan Johnson? 50?
For Brennan Johnson, no, 55 million euros, which is 50 million pounds.
Yeah, I think it was about 47, something like that.
50 million pounds for a guy that barely scored more than 5 goals, not 10 goals, not even 10.
That is where we should have gone for a defender, because we weren't limited for places up there. We should have gone for that other defender that we needed desperately.
For example, Tapsoba, they asked 50 million pounds for him. You could have easily bought him, and then you can switch with Romero, give them a rest, and then you go buy a top winger like Elise that had a 35 million pounds release clause. And look at the goal he just did. I just don't understand the philosophy there behind those transfers. I just don't get it.
Ange, Dietrich, you wish you was on the money. You wish you was on the money Ange is on. It's been a long day, very long day. But in terms of Ange, I hear this a lot. Do you think he was supported in the summer transfer window? Were these his players? Was this the squad was he happy with the squad going into the season, in your eyes?
Well, he said, in his own words, I'm just copying what he said. Every transfer that goes through the door, it's my decision. So if a player doesn't work, it's on him. He said it, not me. So if Brennan Johnson and Veliz don't work and Phillips and Solomon and the rest, it's on him. I don't care what he says, what the people say, or they want to give the Levy card, which is fine. But he was backed. And he even said it. He said we could have gone more like center backs, but you were happy in the summer transfer. You got 124 or 140 million pounds almost to spend, and the rest was Kane sold. So we did back him. Imagine getting Maddison, Van der Ven, Porro, Vicario, everything that you wanted, you got it. If you ask Mourinho and Conte about those players, like they would be begging for Levy to get them. He was backed, let's be honest.
Alex, do we back Ange in your eyes?
Depends what you feel, what you define the back is really at the moment. I don't know. I mean, I think I go back on this. I'm trying to answer your question. I'm trying to answer your question.
Knowing Levy, does he back managers in general?
I think it's difficult to back a manager when you don't know for a head coach at the moment. I think at the moment, especially in this day and age right now with managers at the moment, where I don't think you can back a manager with what they want completely. I think it has to be a whole balance of what the club wants as well. You know what I mean? Because a head coach is never there long enough to do that. You see what I'm saying? There's always going to be chops and changes, and that's it. And I think that's why we're changing our way that we're doing things behind the scenes. with the way that we are playing throughout the ages and stuff, you know, and the philosophy throughout the ages and stuff, and so everyone's playing the same way, and we're gonna have the free flowing attacking football throughout the ages, and then the managers are gonna reflect the same way as well. So, I mean, to answer your question, I think yes, because he fits the philosophy that we're doing at the moment, and he's saying yes to the players that can fit in his system. Yes. So yeah, I think that would be say yes, but again, I'll go back on what I said. I think you can't specifically go for specifically what the manager wants all the time, because of what a manager's not always going to be there for 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? So it could change. So that's why I'm saying, and I don't. I've said I stand by this as well. This is the last thing I will say on this. I don't think Ange Postecoglou is going to be here more than 2 years. I don't think he will be. I think he'll leave at his own accord, or he'll get pushed, because he's left Celtic when they won the championship. He's won the treble. So, and I think teams are going to look at him and think, you know what, we might have a punt of it on him. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Big up Michael, big up Tot Spurs. I just want to say we're nearly out in. We haven't got too long to go. We don't run too long on these Sunday nights. It's late enough as it is. So please smash us a like if you haven't already done so. Mr. Box Office TV released a video earlier. Head over there. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. And yeah, it's free. Hit us a little sub. Hit us a little like. It makes a big, big difference. Now, this is going to be, I suppose, controversial to a certain extent, but I've stuck with this. I've stuck with this all season long. I've stuck with this for the last 3 or 4 years. Ange wasn't supported this summer. These players, any manager would have accepted. They would have accepted Maddison. They would have accepted Van der Ven. They would have accepted Vicario. And let's hold on a second. Tapsoba was our first choice centre-back. That's why we held out with Van der Ven for so long, but he was cheaper. Don't get me wrong. It's worked out fantastically. Maybe he could have been better than Tapsoba if we signed Tapsoba first. But he wasn't our first option. Raya, he was not our first option. Raya was our first option. We bid £15 million for Raya. If it wasn't our first option, we wouldn't have bid for him. So Vicario was our second option. It worked out very well. But if these were Ange's first options, if we backed Ange, we would have got Raya and we would have got Tapsoba, because that's who we bid for first. And Ange wasn't our first choice manager either. It was a summer where we didn't get our first choices. Slot was our first choice manager. Ange admitted this himself. He said, every job I've gone for, I haven't always been the top candidate. This one included. I think we wanted Nagelsmann and Slot in front of him. So we've gone for second choices. We've got no depth, but Postecoglou is not going to come out and say I haven't been supported. This is his biggest paycheck ever. This will probably be his last big job because he's approaching 60. Look, I like Ange. I think he comes across as a great guy. I think he's very brave, but he's a puppet. He will accept being a puppet because he's never managed.
Tommy, thank you for saying that. I've been saying that on every group chat. Even Dan can back me up. I don't have an issue with
backing Conte, someone that's a serial winner, won everything on 350 grand a week. Last manager to win a title with Chelsea 7 years ago. Won an FA Cup with Chelsea in 2 years. Got in the FA Cup final both years he was at Chelsea. Won the league. Won everything. Inter Milan first league title in 10 years. If you're not going to back him, you're not going to back Ange after 2 months. These were all Levy signings. 100% Levy signings. The depth wasn't cleared out, as always. Ange started Sanchez in the Fulham game, Carabao Cup game. Didn't start Dyer. He wanted to keep Sanchez. But Sanchez was sold because he got £8 million. Nobody came in for Dyer. That's not supporting Ange. Ange wanted Sanchez. So he wasn't supported. It's easy to say he was supported. I don't think he was. Sorry, Dietrich's come in there. It's not a very popular view, but that's the one I have. Dietrich, what are you saying, my friend?
For me, I always said Ange gives me those Ryan Mason vibes. I don't know why. I just see a yes man. I don't see like a man that's going to challenge the board like Conte and Mourinho. I just don't see it. Because even the players, like every response is always positive, but things are not positive at the club. We're not backing him. We're not gonna give him time. I can see it. The fact that he's playing the likes of Dyer, Emerson, Davies, I don't know what to say, bro. I actually don't. If he wasn't a puppet, he would play the youngsters and like just ban these players from entering the squad. That's just my personal opinion.
If Ange said okay to this squad, I'd question Ange's ability as a manager straight
But
away.
he said okay. That's the problem.
He said okay, but he's getting paid. He's getting paid. You're going to back up your employer if you're getting paid. Ange was on 30 grand a week at Celtic. He's on 100, 120 grand. If I'm on 3 grand a month for my job and someone's offered me 4 times 12 grand a month, I tell you exactly what you want to fucking hear. I'd do anything for my employer. I'll just make sure, I'll agree with this. I'll agree with that. Conte's not been back. He did get a centre back. Conte plays with 3 centre backs. You've got Langley. In 3 transfer windows, you've got Langley who can't get a game for Villa. They're going to cancel his loan deal. So
change this round a bit, yeah. I think he got backed with the quality he got, and if you look at that actual team, that first 11 we've got without any injuries and whatever, there's already 5, 6 players changed in there, 5 players to what Conte had. You got to start somewhere. I mean, I don't know. Do people expect in one window to be able to totally clear out the crap and bring in the new? It just don't work like that.
But Chelsea did it. But Chelsea did it.
Yeah, but we ain't Chelsea and we ain't got 800 million to throw about the place.
But we do. We do.
Yeah, but we choose not to spend it.
Yeah,
but
we do have money, but we don't spend that money. Spurs just don't work like that. So that one's just out the window. I totally get your point there. I mean, we got the 3rd biggest income in sport, for fuck's sake, but we don't do that. So there's no point on even debating that one. Spurs just don't work like that. End of. But when you got you say, I want a centre back, yeah? A manager's going to stand there and give a choice of I'd say 3 that he wants to go for. Yeah, that's my priority. And then if we can't get that one. If we can't get that, go for that one. Because you've got to have other options. Like when you're playing a game, you've got your A that you're going for. And if it don't work, you've got to spin it off to the B and the C. You've got to have your tactics for the game and everything. And I think it's the same for getting the players. I just want to see him. I like what he did today. I think he done as good as he could today with what he had. And if our finishing would have been more clinical, it would have worked. So I think he got the right idea today. I think the thing, if anything, Ange got wrong today was more at sticking at the same pace the whole game. Because with the lack of depth we got, you can't play like that for 90 minutes and not wear yourself out after 60, 70 minutes. And after 70 minutes, we was knackered and you could see it. And he didn't have the players to bring in to back it up.
We were talking that, weren't we? We need to be 2-3-0 up at that point, or it's going to come back to haunt us.
Exactly. And we could well have been. I know it's all ifs, buts, and maybes, but today could have gone a very different way for the way he played it. And that if we would have been more clinical, we would have had that game. But you can say ifs, buts, and maybes about anything. But then maybe on the 35 minutes, he should have told them, all right, back off just a little bit. Don't sit back, but you don't have to rush about so much. But then when we came on in the second half, doing the same thing and that, by the time it got to 60 minutes, we was knackered and he had no backup to bring it on with. I think that's the only mistake he really made today. With what he had, I think he done all right today, as good as he could.
Would you not have put Dorrington in? Definitely.
I would have put Dorrington, 100%.
I would have gone for that as well. I couldn't have blamed him for doing that. I would have thought he's more the type of manager to give the younger players a go. This is what we've been saying. I know Phillips was injured, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people have said, isn't he the type of manager to give the young player a go, sort of thing? And that's 2 games he's had the option to do that in.
That's a fault, isn't it? That's a fault. That's a.
And he hasn't done it. And he hasn't done it. I'll big him up today on what he tried. I wanted to see him try something different with what he's got. But it was another game again that he could have brought out a couple of the younger players during the game even, and he didn't.
I don't blame him. As Alex said, I don't blame him for starting Emerson and Davis.
I get it.
If we didn't have the Wolves game. Once you've seen the Wolves game against a terrible attack, we lose 2-1 in the last 5-6 minutes, just play Dorrington. Just play Dorrington now. He's been playing, we're top in the Premier League under 21s. He's been outstanding. He's got the same build as Van der Ven. Have you seen him? He's 6'3", 6'4". He looks like Van der Ven. Honestly, you'd think he's his twin. The way he plays as well.
But even
I'm so angry he didn't bring him in today. I'm really. I thought Dorrington. The sources were saying he's going to come in today. I was pissed off that he didn't come in today. To be honest with you.
can I just add
Tom,
one
look
thing?
at the question we just got here. 1 second. Look at the question we just got. I think that's a fair question.
I think it's the last part. The same thing happened with Mourinho and Conte. They lost their job. If you're trying to play the draws to prove a point, that is the worst thing you can do.
And if that is the case, then Ange absolutely feels like he wasn't supported in the summer window. If that's true, that means he absolutely knows he wasn't supported in the summer transfer window. If he's got to basically go on a protest of not playing players to get back to this window, it shows that. But this is, I agree 100% with what with Michael's put here. Fact, they are Levy signings because Ange wasn't there long enough for him to choose these players. You got in the summer. Let's see in the summer, and you can see if he will be back. It's far too early. There's no way you can have seen Van der Ven's, and there's just no way. He's a Celtic manager. He's not going to get those sorts of players at Celtic, so he wouldn't have been scouting those sorts of players. It was far, far too early.
Well, the rumour did have it. He was looking at Van der Ven when he was at Celtic. So rumour had it.
Celtic haven't got £4.5 million, let alone £45 million. So
yeah,
maybe
he wasn't worth that much at the start. He wasn't worth that much at the start of last season. Again, it's always buts and maybes.
Right. I was going to get Alex in there, but Dan, we can carry on. We talked about it a little bit already, but after selling our all-time record goal scorer, Harry Kane, why did we only sign Veliz? Do you think maybe we thought Richarlison was good enough? Do you think that was the reason we thought Richarlison is good enough to play up front at times?
Well, after the first season he had for us, we should have already known that. And for me, that man's got to go. I mean, for me, he goes straight after Dyer as far as I'm concerned, because I still reckon we could get a couple of quid for him. By the end of the season, if he plays the way he has been playing, we ain't even going to be able to give the fella away. Same problem that we've got with other players. And it was blatantly obvious that he was not going to work as the striker. It was blatantly obvious. So maybe we should have gone for a striker as well. Instead of going for Johnson, I still think we definitely should have got a defender. But then getting a striker as well, how many good strikers are there that you know are that quality to get at the moment? Strikers are very few and far between at the minute, aren't they? They're one of the harder ones to get. Whereas if you go back, say, 6 years ago, it was a lot easier to find a half-decent striker and very hard to find a decent centre-back. And again, times have changed. Centre-backs are there now more for the picking, and strikers are just few and far between.
Yeah, I don't think we should have gone for a £70 million striker, but there's plenty of £20, £30 million strikers that have scored goals in Europe at a higher rate than Villas. Well, he's never played in Europe. So
no, I get where you're coming from.
Johnson wasn't the player we needed. I like him. I think he's a pretty good player. I do actually rate Johnson, but he's not the player we needed at that time.
I don't think he was. No, I agree.
So, Alex, what will it take for us to finish in the top four this season? I mean, I'm gonna put up our fixtures. I put this up earlier. These are our next 7 fixtures going into Christmas. We're currently 5th. So let's get this banner out. Man City, West Ham, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Everton, Brighton and Bournemouth. I mean, what do you see us getting in those games? And overall, what do you think it's going to take for us to get into the top 4? January window?
I mean, to answer your first question, how are we going to get into the top 4? It'd be a miracle, because I don't think we're near top 4, let alone a championship. So that for me, I'll still think we're going to finish 8th. That's the best season for Tottenham as far as I'm concerned. 6th, if you're lucky.
8th? You're not going to 8th? Final offer 8th? Is that the highest you're going?
Well, that's a high. Well, you 6th if you really want to go higher, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. That's it. And looking at the fixtures, I think there are a few fixtures that I think even with our first team, I keep on hearing our first team will be fine against these teams. I think we still would have the same problems with the first team still. You know what I mean? Because I think Van der Ven could have got found out still. Van der Ven could have been found out against Aston Villa. West Ham have got motivation to beat Tottenham, and they've got some very good players. Kudus is a very good midfielder as well. Man City obviously is going to be a dangerous game. Maybe dependent on how much the score is at the moment. And then you've got Newcastle, which again will be a very tricky game again.
It's going to be a
The
hard
way they're
game, that
playing
one.
as well at the moment. They've just beaten Chelsea 4-1. And Nottingham Forest away from home is going to be a tricky game, a very tricky game. I think there's a few fixtures there that I think Tottenham Hotspur are going to struggle. And I even looked at those games with our first team. I thought they were going to struggle anyway. So, I mean, I just think at the moment, I just think we just need to just put things in perspective here. We're not good enough at the moment. We were never good enough to win to be up there. You know, I did say that.
To get in the top 4, Alex, you think we need a crazy transfer window?
Well,
January
no, well,
transfer window?
I don't think even a good transfer window is going to do it, Tommy. Because I don't think we're good enough to do it. I don't think we're good enough to do it. And even if that, I don't really want top 4 because I think we're going back to what we were doing with Poch. So, it's about trophies at the end of the day. It is about trophies, and we're nowhere near getting trophies right now. So, I mean, I don't know. And it's not even top 4 anymore. It's not even an achievement to get Champions League anymore because it's top 5 this season. So I don't know why we're thinking it's top 4. It's not even top. It's top 5 now. So yeah, I think for me, looking at the fixtures, I think I think there's quite a few losses. I did predict a few losses in that. I think West Ham, you might get a draw out of that game. Man City loss. I think we're going to lose against Newcastle because they've got some players there. And Nottingham Forest is going to be a tough game. I think you can get a draw out of that game is quite good. And then you've got Everton, who are
They're going
fighting
to
for
be
their lives right
fighting.
now.
Yeah.
They're going to be fighting for their lives. So, and then you've got Brighton, who are similar to us. So
Brighton are just starting to improve again. Very good
yeah.
team. They're just
So
starting to get going again.
there's a lot of things to mull over at the moment. But like I said, I'm calm because I know where we're at the moment. You see what I'm saying? And I just thought it was a bit of a. I do like the analogy that someone said, trying to rattle Tottenham fans, imposter on top of the table, because I did say that we could win the league because I don't think we are. I think it's a bang average league, and I don't think you need world class players to win you and win you games now these days. I think it's about systems now and the manager. But I mean that just shows you where the league is at the moment. I think the only top team at the moment is Man City, and you may put Liverpool in that as well, and Arsenal at the moment. But other than that, I think it's because of the managers rather than the actual players. So yeah, it's just to answer your question. I think for me, nowhere near top 4, nowhere near, nowhere near even getting into Europe this season. Maybe 6th if you're lucky, and that's it. And looking at the fixtures, I think there's quite a few losses there for me, starting from next week.
And that's all those 7 games. That's before the transfer window even begins. So that's why I put those up, and we can discuss transfer window. But it's 7 games till we get to the transfer window. It's a long, long time. I hear too many people going, "Oh, don't worry, we'll fix it in January transfer window. We could be 13th. We've just gone from 1st to 5th in 3 games. It could be 13th."
Yeah.
If you keep losing it's crazy. It's crazy. I predicted 7th at the start of the season. I did. I predicted 7th. A lot of people said 8th, 6th maximum. But the reason I say top 4 is because that's always been the ambition at Spurs. I say top 4 because people understand it. Like, oh, that makes us a big club. So are we going to get top 4 again? Are we going to be a big club again? Not that we ever win anything, not that it ever leads to anything, but that is the height of the Spurs ambition, quite frankly, with Daniel Levy. So what does it take us? What's it going to take us to get up there, Champions League football next season, Dan, do you think? Romero's back. Look, Romero's back in 2 games' time. Is he absolutely essential to get him back? And Basuma will be back next game.
Look, a lot of it has basically come down to, I think when you look at that first 11 and when there's fitness in the team, I think we've got a team good enough for top 4. Because for me, there's no other real teams out there that stand out on a consistent basis, except for obviously City, Arsenal, and quite possibly Liverpool. After that, I don't really see anyone whose first 11 is significantly better than ours, or even their consistency better than ours. The thing that we have had done us is the injuries and the suspensions all in one, and the effects are shown with the lack of depth with it. I mean, what is it? We got about 11 players injured in the total squad as a whole, if I remember right, something like that, 10, 12, 11, whatever. It's that first 11 is good enough for top four. But the way we are now, it's going to be very hard to get points out of those games.
I agree.
I think
as I said, I think the starting 11 is good enough. Yeah, I think it's good enough.
I think Romero coming back is obviously going to be a big thing. Basuma getting back in the middle. Hopefully Bentancur didn't get hurt today. And then we can get more of a system going again. I do think we have the quality for a top four, but we know there's going to be more injuries. We know there's going to be more suspensions when it all happens. If we can just at least scrape to January and say be 4 points, 5 points out of top four, depending what we then do in January, and then depending what things go in our favour with injuries and that, I think we can still get top four by the end of the season.
So, look, I agree with the starting 11. I think it's more than good enough to finish in the top four. Unfortunately, Premier League's not starting 11. I don't think it's about the 11 injuries. It's 2 injuries. 2 players have changed everything. Maddison and either one of our centre-backs, because we don't have one backup for our centre-back. Now, both have gone at the same time. Even when Romero gets back, he's going to have the same centre-back partners he did under Conte, pretty much. And look how Romero played under Conte last season. It wasn't great, was it? So I think the fact that we've lost 2 at the same time is coincidental and not good. It's 2 players, Maddison and one of the centre-backs. That's it. Once you lose those 2, for me, the squad completely changes. No creativity, backline's fucked.
No, I agree on what you're saying, but I think with the first 11 there, we have got the quality to get top four. I mean, another one that I think we're missing more than we might realise is Perisic, because when it actually started showing, like they actually started playing him in his real position, he's a very good player, a very good crosser of the ball, and that is one thing we definitely miss up there as well, isn't it? We haven't got anyone really who can cross that ball in that great up there, apart from that one cross that Gil put in today. There's Kulusevski isn't a great crosser of the ball, and from the angle he's on left,
is good at right back, but he's not winger.
But this is what I say. This is where Porro is probably our best crosser at the ball at this moment in time.
Easily.
Yeah, and again, with the 11 we've got, we could get top four, but it's all going to depend on what happens in the next few games and what we do in January. But I don't see no other team out there apart from the top 3 that I said that are that significantly not just better than us, but consistent enough to basically take that top 4 place. It is very like Chelsea.
The problem is we're not going to have our starting 11 for the next 11 games because Van der Ven and Maddison are definitely not going to be there. So, yeah, starting 11 is good enough, but we're not going to have the starting 11. So, Dietrich, what do you think about the top 4? What's it going to take us to get top 4, top 5? What's it going to take us to get Champions League football? Because we all know the best players in the world, they want Champions League football.
Well, we're struggling with 1 game a week. There's no way we're going to make Champions League football with this squad. With 1 game a week. Honestly, I don't even think we should make Champions League. The squad is not good enough. If it means Levy's going to spend more money with us not being in Europe, I hope we don't make Europe next season.
Because
Dietrich, are there any additions that we can make in January that would change your mind?
Bro, if I don't see Tapsoba at a minimum Mickey Van de Ven level player, I think it's just a waste of time. I don't want to see any more Danjumas. I don't want to see a Pedro Porro last minute. I want to see ready-made players that can challenge the first 11. That's what I want to see.
I agree.
If it's not that, then for me, I hope we don't make Europe. I hope we finish even 9th or 10th. If that's the way we have to back what's his name, Ange, I hope May as long as it continues.
The problem is, Dietrich, you finish 9th and Ange loses his job.
I don't care.
The problem. You can't win. You can't win either way.
Either way, he won over the fans, like we said. He's not going anywhere. I can tell you this right now. If Levy fires
I
him,
don't think he is.
it's gonna be the worst mistake of his life. He's not gonna do it. There's no way.
No, I don't think so. Even if we finish 9th, I don't think he'd get the sack.
I think
Not
things are
gonna
going to
do so.
change. From this, I said the Villa game was essential. We got a point from this game. If not, we could go. The next 3 games could all be losses. And when that starts happening, manager will naturally start to change his game because he can't keep losing. He doesn't want to keep losing. He needs to start winning. Then his system will change. And then you're in trouble because Ange's system has changed. So the fans are not going to be with him. And he's not getting results. A lot is down to the lack of depth, quite frankly. The fact that he has to change his system. And it all comes back to the lack of depth. All comes back to the transfer windows, as far as I'm concerned.
But Tommy, there's one thing he didn't try. If he plays the youngsters, let's say a Donnelly or Dorrington, for example, just one of those two, and we still lose, then we can say the guy tried everything. Now it's time to change your methods. But he still didn't try that. If he doesn't play the right players on the right position, like Johnson on the right, a proper center back at center back, what's his name, Lo Celso, where he played number 8, next to Bissouma against City, for example, we're not gonna win. For me, that's the only way. Can you play the players at the right position, not like when you shifted everyone on the wrong positions? I don't like seeing that personally.
We did see a lot
Johnson,
today. There was a lot of change in
Kulusevski,
today.
we all said Kulusevski is good at the number 10 position. Play him at the number 10. Leave Johnson on the right. But then when he switched, I knew we're not going to score we're not going to score a second goal. It was done after the 60th minute. I just hope he just plays the players on the right position and stops experimenting. I'm tired.
He's got to experiment at the moment though, and this is where he's got to do it because he hasn't got much options as such. So he's got to try things out.
He's not putting Dorrington in. This is the time to put Dorrington
exactly. That's my point.
If
you want to experiment, put the players on the right positions. Don't switch everyone.
I think Dorrington's not ready. I think the problem is, I think Dorrington's not ready. But this answers the question. This is why I asked the question: why we got rid of Sanchez and not got a defender in. That's what I said on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV. I did a live on it, just to rant on it, the whole thing, because I didn't like the fact. I didn't like the fact that he played Dyer and Davis, because you really are just defeating yourself if you're putting Dyer in the team when he's not the system, and that's it really for me. That's it.
Alex, how do you know Dorrington is not ready?
I don't.
If you don't give him the minutes.
If he was gonna play, he would have played right now. You know what I mean?
No, that's not true.
And I don't think he's ready from what I'm hearing.
Okay, if someone's not ready.
What I'm seeing at the moment, he's not ready at the moment, Dietrich. So I'm not saying that I agree with you. I think we should play Dorrington because it's a build. Yeah, they're the future. Yeah, if it's a build, it shouldn't matter whether you play him or not. You know what I mean?
Alex
and
right.
they're class of 92. Class of 92, according to Johnny, by the way, from Tottenham on Tour, who talks a load of rubbish, by the way, that was saying to me that he was like the class of 92 from Manchester United. And sorry, Johnny, but you said it and you echoed it how many times? So you're gonna get burnt with that every single time, like I said, every single time. So I see what you're saying, Dietrich, but I agree with what Dan's saying. What can he do? What can Postecoglou do? And
don't play.
We're in the same shoes. Because Dorrington clearly isn't ready, or Ange clearly doesn't think he's ready.
Alex, I don't think he thinks he's ready, because if he thought he was ready, he would play him. He's already showed that he would rather stick bloody Chicken Royale as a centre-back than someone who's played centre-back for 5-6 years. So for me, that shows he's willing to do something, because he don't rate Dyer. So if Dorrington was even ready for this, just the way he does it, I think he would take that chance. But this
shows that Ange was not backed in the transfer window. If he thought the centre backs weren't good enough, and we're playing fullbacks there, and the youth wasn't good enough, then you had to get another centre back when Sanchez left.
But if
you're supporting Ange, you have to.
It's like you're doing a marathon, and the shoes that you have made you bleed so many times, but you bought a new pair of shoes. Just use them and it might make a difference. You never know. It's better than what you know. You know that those players cost two managers their job. So how about you try with someone new? You know you're losing 3 games in a row. Even City, we all know we're gonna lose at least 4-0.
I can see where you're
So
coming from on that one as well.
and you know that Haaland is one tall player, so you need a tall player. You need Dorrington, like you need to use his height to his advantage. You don't have a choice. You even saw against Ollie Watkins, he won every header on the corners and the free kicks. We need tall players.
One of the issues is going into the game, we done a Tuesday show, and I said, do you know what? Dorrington's not ready. He probably isn't ready, Phillips or Dorrington. I do not blame Ange if he goes in with the first team players, if he goes with Dyer and Dave. I do not blame him. But after you lose to Wolves against a terrible attack, and now after you lose to Villa, trying the centre-backs in it can't be worse. It cannot
And you lost
be
against
worse.
Chelsea.
For me, Emerson and Davis are not ready at centre-back. Emerson definitely isn't ready at centre-back. I mean, you've got a potential youth player, 18, 19 years old, homegrown. Under 21s have been magnificent. When do you put a youth player in? When can you put a youth player in? There's no better opportunity than this. There will never be a better opportunity than this.
AC Milan just played a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Even, what's his name? Even Man United, they just started the kid. He's 18 years old. First ever game he started, first minutes. And look at him, he was amazing against Everton.
I think
You never know. You just never know what's going to happen.
I think at the moment, I think it just puts to my theory what I said all through June, and everyone was having a go at me saying I need to enjoy this. Well, where's the receipts now to those people that I need to enjoy it? By the way, where are you? Where are you now? Because I don't see your receipts right now. You know what I mean? You know, because I had the same energy that I said in June. I said this guy needs a bad run of games. Yeah. After the first game, the first 5 games, they said, "Oh, I need to get on the train of Postecoglou. I'm still need convincing." After 10 games, I still need convincing, even though I've given him some credit for certain things, and that's it. Now look how many games we've had already. You know what I mean? I don't see those now. Those people now are saying, "Oh yeah, no, you know, I love the football still. Like I still love the football. It's better than Conte's though. Still, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's not a Champions League season now. It's not a title winning season now. It's just a build now, isn't it? Back to reality, like I said on Mr. Box Office TV. Like I said, you know what I mean? Yeah.
How many
So like I
shameless
said
plug are
in
you gonna
June,
do?
yeah, and I stuck by what I said in June. Yeah, this guy needs a bad run of games, and then we'll see what happens.
That's
Yeah?
what I was going to
Because
ask you. That's what I was going to ask you, Alex. My next question, because you go to all the home games, you go to the protests. We had Conte, Cam. Conte, if Conte gets sacked, the fans will not take it. This is Levy's last chance. If Conte is not backed and he fucks Conte up because he's won everything, we are going to protest. We're going to be there. Never happen. Never happen.
No, it never does. And
how long does it take, Ange? I mean, Alex, how long does it take for Ange for that to change? For the Ange out placard for you?
the whole thing is, Tommy, the fact is, yeah, I want it to go bad because then I want to see what the board does. Yeah. Like what Arsenal did with Arteta and what Tottenham need to do with that board, then we need to see whether they really back this manager. Yeah, they really back this manager. When fans are saying Ange out, yeah, they say no, we're sticking with our man. Yeah,
like
that's
Arsenal
when
have with Arteta.
that's when I'll shut up. That's when I'll shut up. Yeah,
Look,
but until then, and it might take till next season. Yeah, because at the moment it's too early. Yeah. But this run at the moment is just showing you what is really going on at the moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because if we lose against Man City, right? I think we're talking too soon on that at the moment. But we have to see what happens. But if we lose the next couple of games now, okay, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? You know, we
10
don't
games
get
was
what.
never a good barometer, was it, Alex? 10 games is not a good barometer
No,
for a manager.
it never was. It never was. It never will be. It never was. That's the thing, because I know my football club. I know how it runs. You know what I mean? So, but I was told by people that say, "Oh, just be positive." What does positive say to me, bro? It says nothing to me. It says
I was the
absolutely nothing
same.
to me.
Dan
You know
will,
what I mean?
Dan will vouch for it. I was the same. I was like, do you
It
know
says
what?
absolutely nothing to me. And I knew I was talking sense because I have my boys asthmatic, yeah, and my boy Kruver, yeah, who don't agree with me. But then I have a good football conversation with them, and that we come to a consensus. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
We
they
Alex,
like Ange. And
let's face it.
the best one that knew him a long time, that has followed him a long time, is the Hotspur hippie, Paul. Yeah. He's known him for a long time. He's been vouching for this guy for a long time. Even he understands what I'm talking about. Yeah. He's saying what is everyone moaning about? You know what I mean? But those people that were saying I was Mr. Negative, yeah, where are you now, bro?
They were.
Where are you now?
No,
Where's your
Alex,
receipts
I'm
now?
going to make you, Alex.
Where's your receipts
I'm,
now?
I'm going to
Nowhere.
make you
That's
right on
it.
this
Mr.
one,
Box
yeah?
Office talking the truth again, and that's it. Back to you, Dan. I'm done. Recently, the people with the pieces, bro.
You've done, mate. I don't blame you, yeah?
You
Because
weren't
if you
ranting,
remember...
mate. That's it. That done it.
Look, but
got it out of
Alex,
him.
if you remember, I backed you up a few times, mate, and I agreed on what you were saying, yeah? Now, for me, I was getting the point what people were saying being positive, but for me, I just kept saying this one phrase that covered my ass as well. So far, so good. And it was. But the bit I definitely agreed with Alex, and he got a lot of stick off a fair few people out there, and I did back you up a few times. You even said it yourself.
You did that.
The man has a point. Let's see what happens when this goes downhill a bit, because one way or another, it was gonna. And now we're at that point where people are now questioning the situation. What are we going to do? Is he actually going to get backed? Was he even backed? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? And I'll make Alex right on this one. He was saying it from day one. Okay, we're doing it, but let's see what happens when it ain't going right. Is the man going to get backed?
It was so clear during the games as well. We scraped through against Sheffield United. We scraped through against Luton. It's not just the injuries. We had a good fixture list. We had a relatively straightforward fixture list to start with. It's just getting tricky now, and we've got the injuries coinciding. 10 games is far too quick. And I said this
Liverpool
I was called negative. Liverpool were very lucky. Brentford, we drew 2-2 and they're not very good. They didn't have Tony. Arsenal, we were horrible in the first half. We played better in the second. We probably should have beat them in the second. Man United, we were terrible in the first half. We could have been 2-0 down against Man United in the first half.
Easily.
We recovered. So a lot of those games, we were very fortunate anyway. 10 games is never enough. For players.
The first 10 games was so far so good, wasn't it? It was working. So you couldn't really fault it. We had a lot of luck on our side. I got told I was very negative, especially on that Man U game. With the point where I said, yeah, but Man U, we were lucky we weren't 3-0 down, 3-1 down at half time. Other game, we have had luck on our side, but now it's totally turned the other way. Let's see if we lose our next game and lose another 2 games, 3 games before January. Let's just see how much this fan base backs up Ange then, because people are already starting to question him.
It will turn. It turned on Conte. He got us 4th, for fuck's sake, with a shocking team. It turned on Conte. Apparently, it was all Conte's fault, even though he got us 4th.
And this is where the board needs to stick by the man.
Ever, he got us 4th. We finished 6th, 7th, got us 4th, and we finished 8th. We were 4th when we sacked him.
But this is where the boards need to back their man. Yeah, say what they said in June. Yeah, because I knew it was a load of BS what they were saying in June. I said, well, okay, mate, let's see how it goes when it really is. That's when the chicken comes over to roost for Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, and I've been saying this.
But they don't have to back their man, Alex. Because the fans, do you know why they don't have to back their man? Because the fans, after we start playing poorly, will shout for Ange. They'll turn against Ange.
This is the point. This is the point I'm making.
Ange will get sacked. Then we'll have a new manager in that needs 4 transfer windows.
But Tommy, this is the point I make. Because what Arsenal did, right, with Arteta, when they were saying Arteta out, they said no. Yeah? And that's what the board need to do. If they believe in Ange, if they believe in this process, they stick with their man. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because if they don't stick with their man, well, there's obviously didn't mean what they meant in June then, didn't they?
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
We should, even if we're 10th, we should stick with Ange. But I do not trust the fan base. The fan base will turn.
Whether the fan base go mad or not, you should believe in the process, like Arteta and Arsenal. That's the point I'm making.
Most of Arsenal still don't even want Arteta
long-term project of 4 years, long-term project, my BS, yeah, you stick with your man. if the fans are saying yes or no, because you're all at a sack Pochettino, you're all at a sack Martin Yole during half time, weren't you? Yeah, so you've got your own brain to do what you want to do, isn't it? You know what I mean? So if you believe in this process, yeah, you're doing what you've got everything going for the ages of free flowing attacking football, and just doing this perfectly for you. Yeah, right. And you see what's going on in Liverpool, you see what's going on with Arsenal, you see what's happened with Brighton. Yeah, you're doing it like Brighton. They stuck with Graham Potter. They stuck with Graham Potter through bad times.
100%.
Yeah. So
100%.
regardless what the fans are saying, if you believe in your man, you stick with them. Yeah. And if you stick with that guy, I shut up. I shut up right now. Yeah. Because then you're saying to me, you believe in your guy. Yeah.
This
But
is
we
a
haven't
good-
seen us.
I want to call this out now. H puts Levy can't sack Ange. He'll have to step down. Levy couldn't sack Poch after the Champions League final. 2 months later, he was sacked. We couldn't sack Jose Mourinho. Week before the Carabao Cup final, we sacked a serial winner in Jose Mourinho. We couldn't sack Conte. He's won everything. The minute we sack Conte, Levy will have to stand down. I hear this all the time. It's the same rhetoric, every manager. What will happen? The fans will turn against the manager, not Levy. Levy, okay, we'll get a new manager in, have a relatively decent first transfer window, say every manager needs 4 transfer windows. 2 transfer windows in, he'll be sacked. It continues.
That's the problem. Tommy, that's the problem. That is the problem. Yeah, that's why I didn't buy this rubbish the first 10 games. I didn't buy it because you need to go for a bad run, yeah, and see what really happens. And the board need to suck it up. They need to suck it up.
They do.
Because if they don't suck it up, it's just going to continue every single time.
And it's just going to sack him and start
Manchester
again.
United have learned so much this season with their bad run right now than they learned the last season. They've learned a lot more about their players. Yeah, they learned about Fernandes being an absolute rubbish captain. Yeah, they learned about their striker, the English striker. Yeah, who's just no one. Yeah, nobody. Not Højlund, the other striker. I forgot his name.
Rashford.
Now. Yeah, Rashford. Yeah, you know what I mean. You learn a lot about your players through a bad run of games, and you need time. Yeah, but
Exactly.
you need your backing when you have a bad run, and that's when it's going to shut up the fans. Yeah, but look, I know this board. I know Tottenham Hotspur. When it goes well, I knew this rubbish BS when we had the fan forum. Oh, it's all going well now, so let's all have happy days and have fan forums and everything else. Yeah, come on, please.
Look,
when it's a bad run, that's what happens. And that's it. Sorry, Tommy, I'm not having a go at you, by the way. Yeah,
Michael.
Box Office Unleashing. That's it. You're just getting it live and kicking, and that's it. Sorry about that. And that's it.
That's all right, man.
Dan.
Have a coffee. Right. What Michael said in there, he's a good mate of mine. Danny will tell you he's a Liverpool fan. Yes, he is, unfortunately, but he knows his football. Very open-minded on it. And I said when Klopp came in, give Klopp 3 or 4 seasons and he will win the league. Ange's going to do well for Spurs if you give him the time and if the board do. I totally agree with what he's saying. I don't see us winning no leagues or whatever, but it goes totally back to what Alex has said from the start, basically, and that. Are we going to support this man? Forget the fans even, yeah? Forget the fans. Is the board going to back this man like Liverpool did with Klopp, because they could have got rid of him within a season or 2 quite easily, because at first he wasn't that liked by Liverpool fans? Is our board going to have the bollocks to do what Arsenal have done with Arteta, whether it go right or wrong, back him all the way, forget the fucking fans, let's back the man that we've picked? Are they going to do it?
No. Levy's too afraid. He's too afraid when the fan base turns. We saw it against Man United. I was there.
That's why we're going to fail then, bruv. That's why we're going to fail.
When we lost 3-0 to Man United, Nuno got sacked. I heard the Levy out chants. around the stadium. First time ever. Next day, he got off his arse. Levy made a decision. Sacked Nuno, brought Conte in. Last January,
Spurs, right?
Last January, the first time I've ever seen social media turn was when that Porro deal wasn't going through. The last day of the window, it was gone. We fucked up. We didn't bid the extra money. All of Twitter went Levy out. The next day, Conte flew to Portugal and got the Porro deal done. If you turn Levy out, he will listen. He will definitely listen. So if the fans turn against Ange, he will get sacked. because Levy will listen to the fans when they go deep. Levy
Well,
out.
that's why we
So,
don't. That's why we're going to fail.
This is why, Dan, I disagree with that. You can't forget about the fans because Levy won't forget about the fans. The fans have to stay strong.
I'm agreeing with you. But
Tommy,
what I'm
that's why we're
saying
going to
is
fail.
this is where we need the board to stand by it.
If the fans stay with Ange,
yeah, but
the board will stay with Ange.
It's like me saying I'm going to get married, mate. That's not going to ever happen. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not going to be a millionaire. It's not going to happen, isn't it? You know what I mean? You know. So it's just like if not a dozen. You know what I mean? Sorry. The fact is, you just said it all, Tommy. If he sats him, and the fans listening to the fans, you didn't believe in what you said in June, and we're not getting anywhere. We are not going to get anywhere. You see what I'm saying? He needs the board to say we're sticking with our man, right? Don't care what the fans think. We've got good attacking football. This is our philosophy. We're sticking with our man. That's it. That's all we need. Yeah. If they don't do that, well, we're not going to do anything because we're going to always have a bad run. That's what's going to happen, and that's the only way they're going to prove to me they're changed. Yeah, that's the only way we know we're serious. Yeah, we were not serious when we're winning games. We were not serious because the team's going to always have a bad run of games, always, and that's normal. Manchester United, before Alex Ferguson was at his pomp, had a really bad run and he nearly got sacked. Since then, boom, championship. You know what I mean? And now we've got the so-called the class of 92 youngsters now. Yeah, you got your manager that you want that wants to attacking football. Back your man. Stick with your man. Have the guts to back your man for a bad run. And tell your fans, we are sticking with our man. That's it. Yeah? Like Arsenal have done with Arteta. Yeah? You're saying that you don't like what's going on with Arsenal at the moment. Well, why don't you stick with your man and then see what happens?
These are all things we should do. These are all things we should do, Alex, but we haven't done it for 23 years. We haven't done it over 46 transfer
windows. That's why we're not going to win anything then, Tommy. That's why we're not going to win anything.
There you go. We're not even going to win the top 4 trophy at the moment, I don't think, which has been our trophy for a very long time.
So I'm not directing at you, Tommy, but it's just that listen, I've been getting it all day long. I've been getting it all day long from everybody telling me I'm the ratings killer. I'm a negative Nancy. I need to go on holiday. I need a girlfriend. I need this. I need that. I need this and all this and all that and all this. Well, where's your ratings? Where's your receipts now, all those people? Where are you now? Yeah? Where are you now? Nowhere.
Dietrich.
Yeah, the truth hurts from Mr. Box Office again. If you don't know, get to know. Back to you, Tommy. I'm done.
Dietrich, you've been sitting calmly. You've been sitting calmly, Dietrich.
Bro, I just love Alex.
What do you make of what Alex has had to say over the last 10 minutes?
No, most things I agree, but he's just a waffler. Like, yeah, I love Alex, but he's a waffler. I love him to death. But like Alex, when you give him a topic, he's gonna talk about one thing, then he's gonna go after all the letters of the alphabet. That's Alex for you.
But on this one, I think he actually got to the point quite fair and pretty quick.
You know, he did. I agree with most.
On this one, he got to the point quick and then explained his point.
Yeah, but I agree with most things he says, but
yeah,
I don't think anything.
H, this is the perfect example, my friend. This is the perfect example, what you've put here. Because Novagum, not sure Ange's worth backing, just as plan A, all-out attack, need more at this level. Ange needs to be brave, his tactics are too predictable. The fan base will turn on Ange. It will turn on Ange. And rightly so, in some ways. You need a plan B. You need a plan B at this level.
Do you remember when we lost against Chelsea and you told me, still, and then like how many points we're gonna get from the next fixtures? Until,
you said 0.
I said 0, and everyone made fun of me, and I told you guys it's gonna be 0, and I'm 1 point. Give me 2 games, it's gonna be 0. It's not gonna. I'm telling you, if we get battered against what's his name, City, watch everyone on YouTube are gonna turn on Ange.
No, not the City one. I think City's going to be, we get that battering, people are going to walk away expecting it. It's the one after.
Do you know what? I think we're going to draw. I think we're going to get a point. I think we're going to get a point against City. I said this from the start. We're going to get a point against City. You watch.
Boy, you predicted we're gonna beat Aston Villa.
No, I didn't. I said we're going to lose to Villa. We're going to get 4 or 5 points. I said we're going to lose to Villa, draw against Man City, beat West Ham, and lose or draw to Newcastle. I said 4 points. 5
Oh,
points. I never
4
said
points.
we're going to
My
beat Villa.
bad. Okay.
I'll
Well,
clip that for you.
Okay, clip
Right.
that. I'll come back on that word. Okay.
Ed M puts Levy was on Bloomberg TV yesterday. He said this earlier, but I wanted to shout this out. Yesterday, run-of-the-mill interview, noticed he referred to Ange as his coach, not manager. I didn't see this. And then he goes on to say, did say he doesn't want to put pressure on his coach by setting goals for the season. Said it was about establishing identity. But I do think we're going to nick a point. And as I just think it's crazy. We might nick a point, but I don't know. After this game, confidence is at an all-time low.
I like what was said here. Like, for fuck's sake, I can't believe fans already turning and looking for excuses to sack Ange. We're not doing that, yeah? We're saying, are the board going to back him? And one thing I will definitely vouch for Tottenham, and I've said it on enough shows, I've been grilled for it a few times, I've had people stick up for me. Spurs are the worst fans in general, along with Arsenal and Liverpool fucking fans, on the way we act with things. We are in the top 3 worst out there as a whole. Not everybody, but a majority of the Spurs community. It's just the whole thing. It just turns in a matter of moments.
But Dan, H is not referring to us here, I don't think. H was saying the fan base wouldn't turn. I said it will turn. He still disagreed. Novigan put in the chat, not sure Ange is worth backing. Hotspur put Ange needs to be brave. His tactics are too brave.
No, I was making Hatch right.
Yeah,
I was making him right, and like what he's just saying here, not you guys. Yeah, I was just agreeing with him. We're not saying that, but a lot of fans are starting to saying, yeah, it looks like we haven't got the right one. Maybe we should be looking ahead now for someone else. And people are already turning on him. Whereas I don't think anyone should really be turning on him at the moment, because he hasn't got much option there. But the one thing you've got to do in anything is, even if you win 37 games of the season and you lose 1, you still got, if you want to be great, you want to be good, you still got to look at what went wrong on the bad one. It's all good saying, oh yeah, but majority's been all right. You still got to look at the bad ones on where to improve.
Yeah.
And if we want Ange to be a good manager, we've said it with other managers, you do need a plan B. You do, because if A ain't working, you maybe got to play it a slightly different way.
A couple of
you make your plan A better, and he needs time to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
I'm agreeing with you.
Different situations. That's what Klopp does, and that's what Guardiola does. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah, but
because
Alex,
you can't just change it. You can't just change it. You don't change it. You make you adapt your system to different situations, but you need time to do that. You see what I'm saying? You know,
Alex,
and sometimes you have to go through that situation to learn it, and that's it. That's the whole point. That's why I say he needs time, and that's why I say he needs to go through a bad one to learn these things.
Yeah.
But is he going to get the time?
No.
Guardiola needs to learn. He lost against Leicester, I think 4-2, his first season. It was a really bad season for him, really, by his standards, yeah? Right? Next season, got his wing backs, got the players he needed, boom, won the championship.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
you're going overboard. You see my issue with Ange, I'm not saying let's sack him. But when you look at Pep, he built 2 super teams, one at Bayern, one at Barcelona. Klopp did the same thing at Dortmund. He went to a Champions League final, almost won the league. With Ange, I don't know if he's the right guy going forward. That's my big question on him. I'm not saying let's sack him, but if he had credibility, I swear I would say back him. If it was like, what's his name, Ancelotti, I would just sit back and say, like, give him the players, give him the time. But him, I'm just not sure that he's the right guy going forward. I'm just not sure. I don't know.
Sorry, Dietrich, carry on.
No, I was done. I'm just saying I'm not sure if he's the right guy. That's it.
Yeah, and you've made that perfectly clear since the start of the stream. And a lot of people, every manager is culpable. Every manager, regardless of ownership, every manager is culpable. But I'm with Dan here. Even with the 1 loss out of 37 games, people still say you're toxic for being negative. It's not negative saying we need to learn from that
realistic.
loss. It's not negative. And what do 2 negatives make? A positive. You need to critique in all aspects of life. Children, if your children are not doing well, if they're not, up to it at school, you've got to change what they're doing. You've got to change things. And this, I love boxing terminology, right? Now, this is the situation we're in now with Ange. I love Mike Tyson terminology. Everyone has a plan till they get hit, right? Now we're getting hit. So, Ange, you need to give us a new plan. You need plan B, you need something. And this is why managers are culpable. So he's starting to see now. This is why I was disappointed with not playing Dorrington, because you saw against Wolves, they weren't good enough. I can see why he doesn't do it, but I just felt like today he could have done it. And I think we need to take more risks with the back line, especially if it's bad enough as it is. So just fucking put centre-backs, put young players in now. Oh, that's what I would say anyway. He's got a lot to prove, and he needs to learn, as Alex said, on the job. But with this fan base, you don't get time. You don't get free transfer windows. You get 2 maximum, 3 or 4 losses on the bounce. Fan base completely turns. We've seen it time and time again. We truly have.
You know what? But the biggest joke of it is, I don't even think as Spurs supporters we've got the right to turn on a manager for losing 4 games. I mean, yeah, I can understand me as much as anybody is, we're all desperate for things to happen yesterday, but it's not going to happen. And we ain't known as a winning team. We ain't known as Champions League winners or fucking Premiership winners or nothing, or even Cup winners anymore. We've got to start with something and back something. And there's going to, when you back something, it's like getting married. For the good times and the bad times, you got to ride it. But a lot of Spurs fans don't, and the ball don't, and everything. And every time we just keep blowing it out, as soon as it ain't going, we just ain't going to get nowhere.
We're not.
He's got to get back.
I have no confidence in this fan base. It's the fan base more than anything. But look at this. Look at the league table. We're 5th now, right? West Ham are 9th. So if we lose to Man City, like most people think we will, West Ham win the next game. It's a 6-pointer already against West Ham. But 3 weeks ago, we were talking about winning the title.
No.
We know that was a discussion, Dan. People were talking about it.
Yeah, everyone makes fun of Ten Hag and Man U, and they're 3 points behind us.
2 points behind us.
2 points. If they beat us, and we made fun of Ten Hag, that's the worst part. And they're 2 points behind us. If they win, they're above us.
We're making fun out of how Arsenal are scraping through, not playing well. They're top of the table.
And they're winning games. For me, that's the formula. I don't care about the style of play. I don't care about the players who are on the pitch. If it wins me games, I'm not going to complain. I don't care.
100%. 100%.
Now we're not winning games, so something has to change.
100%.
That's it.
That's it. It's a points game. This is a points game.
It's a results business.
Exactly.
Who cares? If you told me we play defensive football and we win the title or we win games, I don't care. I'm not going to complain. But I just want to see 3 points at the end of the game after 90 minutes. Look at Villa.
If I want to see don't get me wrong, the football's good, but if I want to see great football, I can watch highlight reels all day long and watch great football. I want to see Spurs winning titles now. I want to see Spurs winning trophies. I can watch great football. As I said, I can watch it. I can watch Barcelona. I can go to La Liga and watch Barcelona. But it's time to win. Time to win, not just entertain. It's time to win. That's why Conte at the time, it was terrible football, Conte. Horrible football. Hated watching it. But he made the best out of a bad situation.
And even as Conte, do you really think he likes playing that way? But he just said that's the only way I can get 3 points. And at the moment of time, you're looking like our style of play is not giving us 3 points.
Yeah, he didn't have creativity to take the ball out of the box like Maddison or deep creativity.
He didn't have Van de Ven. He didn't have Vicario. He had no one. But he still
never had centre-backs. He never had. Romero was injured for half of his time. He was our best centre-back, Romero. We had Dyer and Davis and Sanchez.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying Ange has no excuses. I know he has many injuries, but you got to find a way to win the game. And against Villa, if people say we play well, I disagree. Because you got to finish those chances.
Yeah, but today, I'm sorry, I can't blame Ange today. Ange done as much as he could today. Should have told him to slow down at certain points. But if our finishing would have been more clinical today, we would have been 3-1 up at half-time. I can't fault Ange for today, really. He did what he could with what he had. And at least Kulusevski should have had at least 2 goals. That's only the players to blame for that one. That ain't the manager today. We weren't clinical today. End of. If we
But
was
what
as
was the
clear,
problem? But Villa had 4 or 5 chances. They scored 2 goals. The defense.
Exactly.
we weren't clinical.
This is the argument, though. You can say, we've already
But that weren't the
discussed.
manager today.
We discussed that. Why didn't he put Dorrington in? That could have been the difference. That
Yeah,
could have been
it's
the
just
difference. And that's a manager's
sometimes
decision. That's a managerial
sometimes
decision. Playing
some
fullbacks like
yeah.
Emerson and Davis in front of a centre back, that's a manager's decision. And if you
Yeah,
lose
and
based on your defence, then you've got to take some culpability there for me.
and then you bring on Skip when we're losing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Honestly, like, what is this?
No, I do get it, but the starting 11 he done today and the way we went through it at first, I think he got the right idea with what he had. He's very limited at the minute, down to injuries and down to suspensions. And he is. So credit where it's due at the end of the day. He got the right idea at the start of the game today, I think, and he just had no other options to really turn to unless we use the young ones. But then we go back to the point again. Is this fella actually ready? Because Angie's already showing to me that he's willing to kick a centre back out there. I say qualified, but like Dyer out to put a right back in front of him. That shows how much lack of respect or he even believes of Dyer. So if this Dorrington was actually ready to be the centre back, it shows to me more that he would actually put him in there because he's willing to blow the centre back out for a fucking crap right back.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you played Dorrington, who would have thought that they would score that free kick from like close to the halfway line? That Torres scored.
Who knows?
But that's my issue with Ange. You play that every time we concede on the set pieces, and you always play that high line on the set pieces, and you don't have those players that can win a header.
I think today was the first time we've actually conceded from a set piece.
I think it's more.
We could have conceded 3. We should have conceded.
Yeah.
Pau Torres had a free header as well in the second minute or something, didn't he? And then we conceded.
Oli Watkins too. Do you remember the chance? And I think it was Holger that cleared it close on the line. Like I think it's just like small mistakes that will cost us games. That's my only issue.
And the other issue today as well, like Michael's just here, that wasn't manager today. Son couldn't stay on side, and he couldn't. He did not have a good game, and we said that earlier as well. I honestly think today was more to blame for the players than the manager.
But could you say maybe you could have started Veliz? He's a striker.
There you go.
For the way Son's been playing, I'd have had more faith in sticking Son up there. And if you'd have put Son back, say, 3 games ago, you'd have been quite sure that he'd have banged at least one of them in.
It's very harsh. It's very harsh. But there are changes he could have made. I don't think that Veliz... Yes, he brought Veliz on.
But I do think he made changes. He did make changes and adapt that formation a bit to what he had. I'm a firm believer that a great manager, good manager or whatever, wants to play a certain way. But when you haven't got the tools or the players to play the technical way you want to play, you then have to adapt to what you've got and change. But he's
not adapted, Dan. But he's not adapted. He's just said the same thing. Go attacking. He's just saying go attacking. He's playing the same way he did with the shit players. There's no adaptation.
And like Son, we all know like he had his issues today. We can agree on that. But we said it many times. We know Pearl has the quality. I'm not saying play my right wing, but why you don't tell him to drift on the right and drill those balls inside the box? Because Son just needed that pass a bit quicker, and we know Pearl can like time his passes perfectly. Just small details that I hope he changes. Because playing like playing Johnson and what's his name, Gill, to feed Son on passes, it's not gonna work. Like, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to see, like, the issue.
Okay. I'm getting all the defence side of everything, yeah? And I'm the first one to say you need a good, solid defence. But at the end of the day, you need to score goals to win games. I know having a good defence wins you games as well, but you've got to score the goals first.
But we're not creating the chances.
But we did create chances today. We did.
Not a lot.
Quite a few of them.
I'm legit looking at the chances, but we didn't create that much. Well. I'm looking at the stats.
From what I'm picturing of a match, we should have been 3-1 up at half time. It was because we was not clinical. We had chances today. We had chances. We made chances, and we just was not clinical enough.
I agree, but
they got 2 goals.
I haven't seen an adaptation under Ange yet. I've just seen attacking, and this is the same.
I'm understanding that, but today, for the finishing that we would expect, because I would have expected Kulusevski to finish a bit better than what he did. First one, I can show him leeway because he was just unlucky at the inside of the post. But really, we should have been 3-1 up at half time. And if it would have been that, we would have won the game 3-2 because they only managed to score 2 goals. We should have scored at least 3 or 4 today where we made chances. His attitude at the moment is where the defence is that shit. We've got a player, you score 3, we score 4. Because we haven't really got any other option. Because even if we bring the young bods in, whatever else, they're still going to be in trouble when they're fresh at it. We're still going to have it flying at us. So we've got a player, you score 3, we score 4. But if we don't finish our clinical chances like we had, we're fucked if we do and we're fucked if we don't.
And this is where I am, Dan. This is where I am. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't. If we don't blame Ange for this, right, which I don't, then...
Not today.
Then we have to say that Levy's depth that he brought in the summer was atrocious and he hasn't supported Ange. We either say that or we say Ange made errors. You can't have it both ways. Ange either made errors or he wasn't supported. You can't really have it both ways.
Depth-wise, like I said earlier, players we got, it was a good transfer window. Depth that we needed, no, it wasn't.
So it was a shit transfer window. We're in this situation because it was a shit transfer window.
It's a 5 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned because there's pretty much everyone we bought, bar Viles, has shown something. But we didn't get the depth that we needed.
And that's what it comes down to.
We got, yeah. So I'll say it's a 5 out of 10.
More than Ange, that's what it comes down to for me. It's as simple as that.
Well, he said he was backed and he was happy with the players he got.
Because he's a puppet. He's a puppet.
But there you go. So that's why I'm giving him all the blame, and I'll leave you.
I can get your point.
Every manager would do the same thing. Conte was a puppet at the start. Conte was a puppet at the start because he's getting 350 grand a week.
No, but for me, like, if you're not happy, you can say, sure, we got some good players, but I still think we're lacking. That's it. Just don't say, oh, I should take the blame. Don't say those things because it's gonna back and bite you though. You know what I mean.
He'll get sacked and he'll get £20 million compensation. So
there you
go.
There you go.
So he'll be all right. Don't worry about Ange.
I look at Conte and Mourinho, we ruined their reputation. So Ange, you gotta be careful. If it doesn't work out, you're not getting another big job.
Yeah, very true, very true. Right, we're going to end things there. We've exactly hit the 2-hour point. Usually we don't go longer than an hour and a half on these Sunday shows, but, you know, there's a lot of emotions about. We got, of course, box office. He said he wasn't going to rant, but he did. We got a couple of rants out of him.
It had to be done.
Big up to Dietrich as well. Dietrich, I'm pretty aware that you don't have a YouTube channel of your own. Me and Dan, you can find here on the Hotspur Hood, Mr. Box Office TV. That's your channel. What are you up to? What are you up to in the next few weeks? Is it just short videos, sticking with short videos at the moment?
It's just as a when really. It's Mr. Bots Unleashed live if needs to be at the moment. And I'm still working on the good and the best, the worst, and the bang average top 5 Tottenham history. So working on that as well. More or less reactive content because I actually am getting fed up of talking about Tottenham Hotspur in reality because I'm always going to be reality and that's it really. Let's be honest here and that's it. So yeah, that's all it is. Keep it locked in with Mr. Box Office TV and subscribe and like and that's it. And thoughts and prayers to the great John Terry Venables as well. So yeah, back to you. Back to you, Tommy.
Yeah, we have to end it. We have to end it with this great man's picture. As I said at the start of the show, not many people were in at the start of the show. My footballing love was Euro 96. That's when it started with Gazza and Venables. So it's a massive, massive loss. But 80 years old, he's had a good innings. He had a great managerial career. I forgot he managed Barcelona. Dan mentioned he managed Barcelona as well, of course. A fantastic spell there. So we've lost a great. Rest in peace. And before we go, we're on 19 likes. It seems very trivial to ask for likes with the whole Venable situation. Just hit us one more like. It really, you want to keep this channel rolling. We do need the likes.
All these watches are acting like those, like Kulusevski. They can't even finish their dinner. Like the bottom, guys. Come on, let's go.
Our next show will be Tuesday. It'll be me and Dan. We'll have other guests on there as well. Earlier, about 8 p.m. Yes. See you all then, hopefully, and stay classy, Lily Whites. As
See you later,
always.
everyone.
Peace out. Peace out.